What's up guys, it's Alex with Monster Bass, and today we're going to be rigging up the double bobber stop Carolina rig. So this is a very cool take on the Carolina rig because instead of using swivels and big egg sinkers and beads like you do with a normal Carolina rig, you use bobber stops. And these little bobber stops are essentially small pieces of rubber that are on a metal wire keeper, and you just run them onto your line, and it helps to hold your weights, like this little bullet weight, in place on your line. Another really cool feature about the double bobber stop Carolina rig is you're going to use lighter weights. So it is the perfect tool for when you're bank fishing, pond fishing, fishing in grass flats, just fishing in shallow water in general, because it's a very, very finesse approach to the Carolina rig, but you still get all the same benefits of the Carolina rig with the ability to cover a ton of water, to feel bottom composition change, and just get those bites from that weight bait separation that happens with the Carolina rig. But let's rig this thing up, and you're going to need a couple of things. Number one is your hook. Today we're going to be using a 4/0 EWG hook, but use whatever hook fits your plastic the best. Today we're going to be using a creature bait, so this EWG is going to be the best option there. The next is obviously the bobber stops. You can get these bobber stops about anywhere that tackle is sold. Sometimes you hear them called bobber stops or weight pegs or just pegs, but just go and ask for the bobber stops or the weight pegs and you'll get these bad boys right here. The next, again, is the weight. Today we're going to be using a 3/8 ounce tungsten bullet weight. I like the tungsten because it's a lot more sensitive. It's a lot denser material, so it helps to translate feeling into your rod and your reel and your line a lot better. It helps you to really know what kind of bottom composition that you're fishing. Then we're going to talk about the bait. Today's bait is a KVD Perfect Plastics Game Hog, and we're going to rig it up. This little Game Hog is an amazing Carolina rig bait just because of all the fluttering action that you get out of those ribbon tails. It really is a subtle kind of floats in those fish's face presentation when you're fishing it on the Carolina rig. And then the last thing is obviously a pair of scissors so that you can cut off all your tag ends on your hook. So let's rig this thing up. It's super simple, really, really easy to do, and one of my favorite ways to rig a soft plastic when I'm fishing in shallow water. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna rig your first bobber stop up onto your line. Like I said, there's a small metal retainer. You guys can probably barely see that, but there's just a small metal loop here, and it's made out of wire, and it's what you actually run your line through to run your bobber stop onto your line. So run your line through that loop, and then you're just going to grab that bobber stop and pull it onto your line just like that. So your first bobber stop is on. Run that about a foot up your line, get it out of your way. The next thing you're going to put on is your weight. Just thread it on just like you would if you're rigging a Texas rig. You want to go the pointed end towards the tip of your rod, run it up to that bobber stop. Then you're going to put on your second bobber stop. Hence the name, the double bobber stop Carolina rig. You're going to need 2 bobber stops. So this second bobber stop is going to kind of act like your keeper and really do the job that the bobber stop is supposed to do, and that is hold that weight into place. So you guys can see there, my weight isn't moving, and it's because those 2 bobber stops are holding it in place. And then I've got about a foot of line out behind it here, and that is going to act like our leader. So if you've seen a traditional Carolina rig, normally here you would have a bead, a weight, a bead, and then a swivel, and then attached to that swivel would be your leader. But instead here we have the bobber stop, the weight, the bobber stop, and then our leader. Then you're going to tie your hook on. All right, trim off your tag end here. And then you're going to take your creature bait and you're just going to Texas rig it onto this hook. So what is so awesome about the Carolina rig again is that weight bait separation. It allows this plastic to just very naturally and subtly flutter down to the bottom, and then when you pull it, that bait will again come up off the bottom, and then it'll very naturally and slowly flutter down back to the bottom. And it's just kind of like fishing a wacky rigged weightless bait, except for you're able to cover a whole lot more water because you've got that weight out in front of it that runs down to your creature bait, and you're dragging that creature bait behind that rig. And that is the double bobber stop Carolina rig. A very simple, awesome, super finesse tool to use in shallow water that I can promise you guys will get a ton of bites. But as always guys, thank you for watching. Any questions or comments, please go leave them in the comment section down below. We'll answer any questions that you guys have. Also, go down in the description. We'll have links to the Monster Bass website. You can check out our boxes and these awesome baits like the KVD's Perfect Plastics that come in every month's box. And as always, go check out my channel, Alex Rudd Fishing. It'll be linked down in the description as well. And as always, you guys are awesome, and we'll see you next time.